Manthi with the ball in hand, and it's the, we've got a very unique proposition here. We've got two Neds, I believe, going toe-to-toe in the ruck. Moyle and Reeves, respectively. It's the Hawks now. Left foot kick up towards centre-half forward on the bounce. Lovely pick up here, taken by the first gamer here in Ward. Couldn't quite get the effective handball away. Here come the Suns through 6.5, cross half back to Jake Rogers. Deep inside the forward 50, looking for Long. Did he get the infringement? No, he did it now. As Box Hill on the very last line of defence. Left foot kick around the body. Looking for Harry Morrison. One of the big ins today for the Hawks, able to keep the ball inside the field of play. Wrapping up his opponent beautifully there was Ben DiBolfo in his first year, the boy from Heidelberg on the VFL list. In fact, he's given away a free kick and a 50-metre penalty, and that will go to Nick Francis. So one first-year player impeding on another first-year player, and Nick Francis, the boy from Bond Uni, will have a shot on goal. I believe he's already got a goal already to his name in the Smithies VFL. Albeit after one game. Well, this will make sure of it. In fact, no, he has not kicked a goal in the Smithies VFL. This will be his first one here, and they all get around him. Nick Francis from the Bull Sharks down the road, the Bond Uni Footy Factory, who produced some elite AFLW talent, and we may have some impressive AFL talent on the rise. Francis gets his first on the board, so do the Suns, and they lead this one straight 6 to the Box Hill Hawks, yet to score 90 seconds into the first term. We've got some massive breaking news in terms of following the scores in the Smithies VFL today. Yeah, the Giants defeating Sandringham 19-11, 125 to 12-7, 79. But a game of massive implications. It's Williamstown 105 lead, Southport 58. Williamstown have kicked they kicked 8-0 in that first term as the mark is dropped here by Levi Casbolt. Rock the Casbolt, he kicked a goal. Something out of nothing there from Big Levi. And the Suns, they get 2 in a minute. Hacked out of midair, Levi Casbolt. And that is something that will be played on the highlights reel, no doubt, from our friends and the socials down in Victoria for quite some time to come. 12 points the margin here. They've got off to the red hot start here. The Suns, they lead this one 2 straight 12 to the Hawks, yet to score. 2 inside 50s for 2 goals. Umpire Cam Manthi will is lining up alongside Sam Wenton and Jake Edgar in the field. So Manthi bounces the ball. Won the ground there by Reeves. Takes his Gold Coast opponent down. And we'll see another stoppage. Just forward of centre for the attacking zone. The wind, if anything, prior to the game was blowing to the left hand of your screen to the far pocket. To the Powers pocket. To the grandstand end. To the People's Pavilion. So if you think of the left hand of your dial, more to that left forward pocket, I think it has sort of changed, which it does tend to do. As the Hawks now with an up and under kick. Sexton will be the man in the gun here for the Suns. Couldn't quite take the mark due to some good defensive work there by the Hawks, but it's now taken here by Sexton, and they're manoeuvring the ball beautifully. Selling the ball inboard now is the Sexton now for his third disposal. Good link of the chain. Right foot kick inside the forward 50. Was ill-directed. Deft little tap there from Brandon Ellis. Big hit. 2 Hawks collide 30 metres out from goal, but they're able to recover now. Through Tyler Brown on the last line of defence. He's got some worries. Deft little tap there. Lands to Ellis. Ellis with the snap. Hits the post. Minus score. Brandon Ellis with one behind. And that's 3 inside 50s for 3 scores on the board. And while Port Melbourne 4-2-26. Lee Casey 1-4-10. The early stages in that game. Out towards Reeves. Spoil there from Moyle. One of the best ruckmen running around in the country for mine is Morrison, I should say. Laces up and finds Max Hall. From Montrose. Which is the ball back up now to the experienced Brown and Callum. They get out to Jed Rule. An outstanding young proposition is Jed. Fantastic young footballer. Played exceptionally well in this fixture last year. Big kick up towards high half forward. Reeves takes the mark. Suns have flooded a couple back. Atkins is playing the loose defender. So they've got something to think about. And Oya lays a stunning tackle there for the Suns. There's no one inside the forward 50, so Ellis has to hold it up. Finds it out now to a teammate on the burst. Here is Jeffrey here, near side of the commentary wing. Looking for Kaz Bolt. Through his outstretched arms. Deft little tap. Looking for Long. Gets him in the side. And we'll see a boundary throwing. Our boundary umpires today, Ryan Hickey, Jacob Hudson, Adrian Pretorius and Dom Schillerow. Dom umpiring his 20th game on the boundary, originally from Tasmania, part of the Victorian Amateurs program now after stepping up into that division in the past couple of seasons. Goals today, Matt Bridges and Darcy Rayburn. Ball forwards a little bit short there to Ned Moyle, looking for Oya. Pickpocketed there by Ben DeBoffalo, and like what he's able to bring already, Ben. Inside 50 count, 6-0. Leading disposal winner, well, Alex Sexton. He's got 3, all in the one passage of play. So the two Neds go toe-to-toe. It's Moyle that brings it down now to Davies. Handball out towards Rogers, trying to appeal for the free kick. Looks at it to slip it out to Davies. He's wrapped up straight away. And he'll have no prior opportunity. Umpire Sam Wenton will take the ball. So I'm just seeing how the Suns are defending. They've got one loose defender in James Cheetahs, standing at centre half forward, several metres in front. So they are +1 in defence, the Hawks, around this contest. Lemons got the tough job. One of the impressive forwards there for the Hawks. Just off your screen. One of the Neds gets the ball to ground. Davies wrapped up straight away. And we'll see another stoppage. Number of Suns players looking to work their way back into the senior team. Got a tough job ahead of them, that's for sure, given the impressive run of some of these young stars as Casbolt. Ball slipped out in the tackle. There's Davies again, wrapped up at the bottom of the pack there. And a free kick for holding the ball. And it will go here to Dan Wood from Blackburn. Also in his first year, the 27-year-old from Blackburn. Kick along the near side. Player in the gun there was Deer. Couldn't quite take the mark there. He recovers well. The son of Paul. Handballs out towards Jack Gunston. And we'll see a boundary throw in. Commentary side with our man Caleb on the camera. And we'll see a boundary throw in here between wing and half back for the Hawks attacking zone. Reeves. Free kick for a hold. So we'll come out to Cooper Stevens, the former Geelong product. Got enormous potential, a lot of upside. Spots up Bailey McDonald. McDonald now up towards the attacking 50. Gunston goes up, couldn't quite take the mark. And that ball has gone out of bounds. We'll see a throw in. As Casbolt comes off for a spell. Meanwhile, Andrew Matheson comes back onto the ground for the Hawks. Finn Hay, the 23rd player, the Gold Coast Academy product, will come on. And he's sliding up towards the middle of the ground. Kick the goal in round 1. Might be an option here. Ball kicked along the boundary line. The Hawks +1. And DeBolfo takes the mark comfortably. Got an option further down the field. Might be Jack O'Sullivan. He did offer a brief lead. The ball will go in his general vicinity. In fact, he'll be front and square for this one now. It bypasses him. Here come the Suns. Handball back up towards the corridor now. Lovely work, Brown. Brown inside the forward 50. He was looking for Gunston. Good spoil there came from Caleb Graham, working hard. Has some support there from Francis. Good defensive work there from the Hawks. Now they're going to try and switch out the outer side, Suns. They don't have many options further up a field. Well, they do have +1. Cheetahs marks, defensive 50. Looks to go further down the line. Jay Sarong standing alone at the half forward here for the Suns. Sort of blocking up that space. Now Lemons West falls to ground, gets it out towards Alice. Handball through the corridor now, and they're off. The Suns back inside the forward 50, looking for Day, but there's Sarong, the play that we mentioned before, unopposed in defence. Essentially takes a strong mark. So good work there from Sarong. Jack O'Sullivan in the middle of the ground. He was unopposed, and they're off now. Haven't got many options inside the forward 50, so he had to hold on to it just a little bit longer. Here comes Sexton. Sexton handballs through the corridor now. Here's Marnie. Handball over the top now to Oya. Oya has one on the outside, back to Sexton. Good work. Very good work. And that started with Sexton. And the Hawks just had very few opportunities inside that forward 50. If anything, they were the Suns were +1 in defence. Forced the issue in the middle of the ground. And now Sam Day here for the Suns. Need to go right to left. Joel Jeffrey comes back onto the ground alongside Jake Rogers here for the Suns. Thanks to the Smithies product. Marvellous top drop, that is. So Sam Day, season product. Beautiful finish. Beautiful finish. Day has his first. And the Suns have got 3 on the board. They're 3-1-19, lead the Hawks, yet to score 11 gone here in this first term. And that work started beautifully across half-back from Sexton. He now moves up to 6 disposals. That has come from 2 passages of play. The best tacklers on the ground so far. We've got Tyler Brown for the Hawks with 3, Dan Wood with 2. Keeping you up to date with all those stats there as they come to fruition. Of course, coming up later tonight, we've got Gold Coast v Hawthorn. Starting to get a solid crowd in here already. It's the best thing about coming up here for Hawks fans. If you plan to come up in the future, you do get that VFL, AFL double. It's up by Sam Wetton. We'll take that again. Just trying to look at some of the matchups here. At half-back, Andrew Matheson will have the job on Marnie. In fact, Will Rowlands here at half-forward. But now the Hawks back inside the forward 50 for a rare time for them. Sexton lays the tackle. Umpire allows it to continue. The Suns across half-back. Here comes Joel Jeffrey. Hasn't got many options further down the field. He's got one-on-ones. So he's got to kick long up towards Day, and Rowlands will be front and square. Day got that deft little hand in there, and he's taken out towards the boundary line. And we'll see a throw in here. Commentary side. Some of the players to keep an eye on here. Callum Porter and the number 55 for the Hawks. Harry Morrison. Tyler Brown. Number of other stars hovering around this contest. But liking this matchup. Andrew Matheson on Sam Day, the debutant up against the veteran. Good smother there from Marnie, the former North Melbourne player. Up and under kick there from the Hawks to a gutsy one-on-one that turns into a 2-on-1. Jeffrey comes through with the spoil. He sends it crashing out of bounds. Gets some high fives there from his teammate Zach O'Brien. Alex Davies and Callum Porter exchange a few words. Bailey McDonald, second round draft pick pick 51. The 2022 draft has just come on the ground here for the Hawks. Marnie, he's wrapped up straight away. Good tackle there from Porter. G-A-W-N, gone. Holding the ball, free kick to the Hawks. They've just got to hold it up a little bit here. They're needing to flood some more numbers back, but it's very static. And there's about 16 Suns ahead of this contest. Deft left foot kick there from Dan Wood to Gunston. Gunston up towards a true centre-half forward position. Two Hawks collided, got in front of each other. Jeffrey there with the handball. Look away at that. Good, strong tackle. Was that a little bit over the top? Yes, it was. And the Hawks will have their first shot on goal today. The 14.5-minute mark. They're just trying to sort each other out a little bit. Alex Davies, an instigator in that passage of play. And the Hawks will have their first shot as they swing a couple of changes from the bench. And this is Ed Phillips. The 26-year-old from Doncaster East. He's a lovely kick of the footy as well, Ed. Watched a number of his games. The VFL socials. Kicks on its way. Went for the extra distance. Minor score. That's their first one on the board. It's taken 15 minutes right on the knocker. As the wind really starts to pick up around here from time to time. Here at People's First Stadium here on the Gold Coast. Budrick across half-back there for the Suns, was looking to go to Oil, switch it out to the near side. He's got Caleb Graham a little bit further afield. He's got an option here in front of us. It's Finn Hay. Looks to go a little bit longer up towards Day. Now Davies has sprinted 100 metres to get to that general kick, but he'd have to be in the grandstands to get that. There'll be a free kick to the Hawks at right half-back. Cooper Stevens, the recipient. Caleb Porter picking up some key tackles. Equal leading tackle on the ground. He's got 3 there for the Hawks as Graham brings the ball down the ground, but it's taken here by Josh Bennett. Bennett now finds a teammate by hand. The next number in the chain, that was Jack O'Sullivan. The Suns, though, +2 in defence at the present. So O'Sullivan's got to hold it up. Now the Hawks have got a few changes coming to the bench. They might be able to use them now, and they do here. In form of Callum Brown, who's just come onto the ground. Right foot kick inside the forward 50. Spoil there from Graham. Jeffrey looks up, has nothing up ahead. Good defensive work here from the Hawks. Outstanding, in fact. And they've got the +1 around this contest. Casbolt has to come from behind. In fact, that's almost a win there for the Suns, because Ben DiBolfo and Ned Reeves were the 2 targets. We'll see a boundary throw, and Alex Sexton, 8 disposals, leading that stat. Callum Porter, Cooper Stevens, 4 there for the Hawks. Cheeky little handball out now to Davies. He's dispossessed, goes back again, looking for Marnie. Look away, handball out towards Jack Rogers. Double little spike in board. Oh, good tackle. Gang tackle there from the Suns, but he had no prior opportunity. And we'll see a stoppage. That's Charlie Elliott there for the Suns. Comes out now to Rogers. Kick around the body there from Moyle. 1-on-1s inside the forward 50. Moyle, good use of the body. Casbolt, good use of the body. Out muscles DiBolfo. And he'll have a shot on goal. So we appreciate your company wherever you may be watching today. It's great, I'll say, with all the scheduling times, daylight savings, we're on the same time as those in Victoria. As Casbolt lines up, he's already got 1. Make it 2. And the Suns have got 4 on the board. They lead this one by 4 straight goals, 18 minutes into the first term. Give us a chance to go looking through some of the leading stats already. The Hawks are using more disposal by foot. The Suns have actually got 33 handballs as opposed to 16. So 33 of their 58 disposals have all come from handballs. 9 inside 50s to 4. Conversion of 5 out of 9. 1 out of 4, 25%. Hit-outs 9-7. We expect them to be pretty even across the day. The clearance 7-4 in favour of the Hawks. Marks 13-10. And tackles 16-6 in favour of the Hawks. And probably not surprising, given that they have been doing a lot more of the chasing. There is Reeves there with another spoil. Good tackle on the outer side. Here comes Rogers. Round 1 draft pick from 2023. Could he be the next to join his mates in the form of Ethan Reid, Jed Walter, and Will Graham. Kick up towards centre half, forward now, and here's an opportunity for Morrison. Just got the kick out in the nick of time, a dribbling kick. Goes out towards Morrison again. He's gang tackled straight away. Well, we had WrestleMania last weekend, and what a show that was over in Philly. Well, I felt like we had a dose of Philly WrestleMania here on Saturday afternoon here on the Gold Coast with that tackle as we see it go out of bounds. Thanks to our man Caleb on the camera. This is his second AFL game on the camera, and he is carving it up. We had a chat before the game, and very first game, he got some of his footage. Got the second goal of the week of Sam Naismith against Richmond just a few weeks back on the run from 50, not 40. For those who've gone to watch the tape, I think I had somebody say, "Oh, look, we wouldn't get we wouldn't buy real estate off this clown." And I'm like, I don't know anything about real estate, it must be said. Anyway, that's how good our man Caleb's going at the moment on the camera as Jake Rogers there on the outer side. Tries to keep his footing. He's got the aid of support of a teammate there. Make that 2. They've got Ben Long deep inside the forward 50. He hasn't got the opportunity there as Elliott squeezes it around the body. That's brilliant. That's brilliant because they could have gone deep inside the forward 50. Long could have stayed in that direction, but he's led his defenders goal side, pivoted around, and went straight back up the corridor and created that space that wasn't there 5 seconds ago. And Charlie Elliott, who has come into this game today, on his opposite foot, a lovely kick. And I think, regardless of what happens with this kick, that passage of play is outstanding for more reasons than one. Ben Long goes back, kicks a goal. That is on the highlight reel, and that all started with Jake Rogers on the outer wing on a 1-on-1 contest. Might have been 1-on-2, and he just kept persisting, clearing metres in front of him before he got an extra 2 teammates to help out. But that kick there from Elliott was supreme. But Ben Long, the former Saint, played in the back line, being switched up forward this season after losing 160 goals in the off-season in the VFL and across the AFL. He's able to spin around, come back, and go into that vacant space 25 metres out. That's one of the more impressive goals that I've seen this season, and I've seen a few already in this year. Great team goal, but now it's up for the Hawks. The pressure is really on. The clearances are even. Reeves is doing extremely well on the ruck, but their direction inside that forward 50 just leaves a little bit to be desired. So we see another stoppage. Sock it off the ground here. Comes Marnie out towards Oyer, and Oyer can just about run to 50 here. Has a teammate loose. And Rollins just needs to steady the ship. He's got Casbolt at the top of the square, 1-on-1. Sexton coming around, looking to create an opportunity to be a loose man. But Will Rollins, you can hear that breeze picking up. He's going to need to perhaps aim for that left-hand goalpost and have it curl through. It's just on his distance too. It's going to be a challenging one. You can see the wind has taken that and just snuck through for a minor score. Let's say Charlie Elliott has come in for Oscar Forkhead, just at a glance. So the Hawks are under siege at the moment. They trail this one by 31 points. Inside 50s. Haven't gone through with much venom at all. Big spoil there from Caleb Graham. Brandon Ellis, he's wrapped up beautifully there by Max Hall. And we'll see a boundary throw in. Commentary side of the ground. We appreciate your company again. We hope for those Hawks fans watching on back home that perhaps there's some opportunities here for some of the young guns to really stamp their authority. Cooper Stevens, perhaps. He's here right in front of us. The ball just misses him. Brown, off a step there. Jed Rule got a lovely left foot kick, but Sexton goes back with a fly to the ball disposal. Number 9. I think that's Gunston sitting alone, defensive 25 there for the Hawks. So Cheetahs now will pump it out to where that +1 is there for the Hawks. And he was able to get spoil there. That was, I think, Gunston. It was. So Cheetahs would have loved to see him lower his eyes. And perhaps as a caller, having seen had the privilege, it is a privilege to call VFL football, but to see the players lower their eyes and kick from that 30 to 50 instead of bombing it long, knowing that they're going to be out-muscled there in defence. Anyway, I just want to see them lower their eyes. Here comes Marnie. Gets it out now. Left foot kick up and under there from Francis. We don't want rain today, Nick. Ball hits the deck. It was Andrew Matheson that went up, showed a lot of courage. The first game, a free kick for chop of the arms. And the Hawks across right half back. Most of the action on the outside, so I'd like to see the Hawks bring it out to the near side. They trail by 31 at the 25-minute mark of this quarter. Meanwhile, Port Melbourne lead Casey by 4 points, 26-22. There we go. They've heard the demand from yours truly up here. They're able to get out with a little bit more conviction. Tyler Brown now with the ball in hand. There's a lead that's offered further down the ground to Deere. And Deere will be the target. He's got two defenders hot on his hammer. Couldn't quite take the mark, but was able to generate a contest. Cheetahs, good tackle. Fantastic tackle there from Jack O'Sullivan. Umpire allowed it to continue. O'Sullivan goes in there again. There's Bailey McDonald working ruthlessly. Oh, it's like time stood still for O'Sullivan. He was able to work his way out. This is the genuine opportunity for the Hawks. Deep inside the forward 50. They've got Kalen Porter. If they can get it long to him quickly, they can't. The Suns with the extra number around this contest. They'll probably use Butterick. No, they don't. Yes, they do now through the hands there of Atkins. Francis. Back to Cheetahs. They've been working well across half back here, the Suns, but they've made a meal of it and holding the ball, darting in and out of traffic there was Cooper Stevens. Hawks missed a genuine opportunity there. So Casbolt's deep. That's irrelevant now. Sarong. Did he give away the free kick? No, he didn't. Werribee, 7-3-45. Lead Richmond 2-6-18 over at Avalon Airport. A big one today, though. Williamstown, big win over Southport. I'll give you some updates on that shortly. Near that win, up towards Day, inside the forward 50. Elliott, it wasn't Elliott, comes in now to Cheetahs. Cheetahs arches his back, goes on his opposite foot, inside the deep inside the forward 50. A chaos ball, only one that could suit Levi Casbolt. Putting his head over the ball there was Zach O'Brien. Here comes Oya out to Alice. He's got a teammate in support there in Hay. Lovely smother. I think that was Jed Rule. And he goes back again and lays a good tackle. Well done, Jed. Out to Oya. Sidestep here from Jeffrey. Pulls the trigger. That's 3 great attempts there from Jed Rule. Outstanding. Make that 4. And he is spent. And while this may not have amounted to much at all, in fact, the stoppage, but Jed Rule, number 59 there. I said at the start of the game, one player to watch. And that was absolutely fantastic. Can't wait to go back and watch that on the highlights reel, the young gun. He's got AFL talent on him. That's only my opinion. Inside the forward 50, Gunston the sweeper for the Hawks. Gets it out now to Morrison. Morrison will look to steady in front of Francis as Gunston continues to run, has the aid of a teammate there. They're +2 forward of the ball here, the Hawks, so they can create an opportunity here. Was that a chop of the arms? Yes, it was. And they'll go back and have their second shot on goal, 28.5 gone. That was attributed to the large gut running there from Jack Gunston. So the Seagulls, with a big win over the Sharks, was 1 point separating the pair at halftime, and then they kicked 8 straight to 4 points in the third term, ended the contest. Phenomenal performance there from the Gulls. Meanwhile, right foot kick on its way, just fades across the face of goal and goes through for a minor score. 29 minutes gone. 30 points the margin. Here comes Lemons. Handy experienced player having this Smithy's VFL side. To Zach O'Brien. Right foot kick. It'll be turned over. No, it won't. McPherson out to Oya. Oya spears the ball inside the forward 50. Looking for Day. The Hawks. He'll direct the deft little tap. There is Jed Rule again. And he sidesteps Alice. Squeezes out a handball. This 19-year-old is playing like a player with maturity well beyond his years. 20 years old from Heidelberg. And he is having a nice little run. Jed, it's a treat to watch. Big shout out to all his family and friends back home in Melbourne. This kid is filled with potential. He played at this corresponding fixture last year. Great game of footy that was between 1 versus 3. And he was outstanding. Ball inside the forward 50, front and square. They can't convert. A quarter that went 30 minutes here at Carrara. My name's Christian. It is a pleasure being your company. Stick around. We'll be back with you after this break. Had a big role in how this one has been going. But it is the Hawks kicking to the right of your screen. Inside 50 count, 15-5. So 15-7. In favour of the Suns. So seven scoring shots from 15 inside 50s, as opposed to 2 from 7. And the wind was originally blowing to the left. I think it's switched around to your right. You'll be able to hear it through your effects mic, but it is a lot swirlier up here than what it is at ground level 2. I did hear from the coaching staff, from the umpires, that the ground is in wonderful condition. Meanwhile, the Hawks up towards high half forward. Lemons goes back with the flight of the ball, and he marks. Handball count 51-31. The Suns are using a more handball-style game. Atkins spears the ball up towards Jake Rogers. Liked his game so far. Right foot kick up towards the middle of the ground. Found Ben Long. Had the support of a teammate there on the far wing. Here comes Brendan Ellis. Right foot kick inside the forward 50. Looking for Casbolt. Good defensive work there from the Hawks on the very last line of defence. They look to try and bring the ball out towards the commentary side, and that they do. I think it might be Dan Wood. He marks in front of Francis. We've got many options further down the line. In fact, the Hawks have got +1 down here on the commentary side. They should make the most of it. They elect to go a little bit longer. There's the +1 that we were just talking about. Right foot kick around the body. Sexton again will go back and mark strongly like a quarterback. Well, receiving it from a quarterback, and they'll look to switch it out towards the other side. +2 in the middle here, the Suns, through Brandon Ellis. Butterick there if he wants him in support, and that he does. He's got Will Rowlands at further high half forward there as Butterick, and they'll look to go to him now, and that they do. Ned Reeves and Ned Moyle standing 25 metres out from the Suns' goal, which might just cause a bit of stoppage as the Suns try and negate their way inside the forward 50. They do now. Jake Rogers. Well, for the coaching staff who will be watching this later, please give him the tap on the shoulder so he can be with his mates in the AFL. The Broadbeach product. Right foot kick inside the 450 up towards the battle of the nets that we just mentioned moments ago. And there is Moyle, who takes the mark 25 metres out from goal. And that, I'll happily say, was set up beautifully there from Jake Rogers. One of the famous quartet that was picked up by the Suns in the recent draft. He's had about 5 or 6 disposals now, and Ned Moyle goes bang. They've now got 6. And all of a sudden, this game is not going to script. Moyle's got his first, and that's impressive. Game high margin, 36 points. And I say that coming to this game today, I genuinely expected the Hawks, who had 2 impressive wins. That win over Casey in round 1 by 41 points. Didn't they light it up? I think it was at Casey Fields. They were just outstanding. They've come into this one too. Zip sitting 3rd on the ladder. Did not expect this kind of outcome today. But perhaps says a lot about the talent coming back down from the Suns, and the talent essentially that has gone up that will make this VFL team, their premiership defence, a little bit more different than most. Rogers now for disposal number 7, switches it out now to Francis. Showed a lot of poise here. His 2nd season in the Smithies VFL, part of the academy program. McPherson will go up, almost hit Stay right in the mush. And it's seen out of bounds there by Jay Sarong. As Brandon Ellis comes off for a spell. Coming onto the ground is James Cheetahs. Chris Andrew with you here this afternoon. The great man Caleb in his second VFL game. With you here today as well on camera. Kick around the body there from Deer. Well, actually, it is going up towards Deer. He goes up. Two Hawks collide again, not for the first time today. Comes out now to Joel Jeffrey. They've got Ben Long inside the forward 50 now. He offers a lead. That lead is ignored. Got to go a bit longer towards Casbolt. No, in fact, they go a little bit wider, and the kick was to perfection. And that is miles away. You'll be able to see that on your camera at the moment. But I'm going to take a stab and say that's Will Rowlands. It is. And with that breeze picking up here, hard to gauge just how strong it is at ground level, as we've come to expect here at Carrara. Will Rowlands, kick one behind already today. Pulls the trigger from 48 metres out from goal, just rocks back, hugs the near side. Minus score is that. He's kicked the only two behinds, I think, that has come off the boot. In fact, Brandon Ellis has already kicked a point there from the Suns. 5.5 gone here in this term. Game high margin, 37 points. This is the 5th time, 3 seasons that these two teams have met here, I believe, or 4 seasons. And the Suns are on a bit of a winning streak against the Hawks. It's great to have this footy club up here. They're a very, very good club. Have a lot of family connections, social connections down at Box Hill. Had a run over at Glen Ferry just a few years ago. Beautiful ground even at this point in time. Anyway, back to Atkins here for the Suns. Looking for Rogers, threads the eye of the needle, but going back and taking a strong mark there was Box Hill. Kick up towards high half forward. The kick had to be good. Very good work here. Outstanding, in fact, there from Porter. Gets it towards Ed Phillips. The kick almost there to Deer. Here's an opportunity. Right foot kick. Just took a little bit off it. The mark not quite taken by Jalen Thorpe, and the kick came there from Max Hall. I think the idea was right, the execution was right. Perhaps just needed to lower it a little bit more, or even in that instance, 25 metres out from goal, just go back and have the shot. Rucks will go up, but the ball goes down. Francis, he's had a very impressive start to the game here for the Suns. Like a slippery eel, they can't catch Bennett. They've turned the ball over, though, the Hawks, into a gang tackle. Money, he's wrapped up straight away. And we'll see a stoppage. Couple of Hawks come off for a spell. Tyler Brown and Jack O'Sullivan come back on. Comes out now towards Jack O'Sullivan. He's wrapped up straight away there by Alex Davies. Hack forward there by Morrison. Inside the forward 50 to grass towards Bennett. Taken out of bounds. We'll have a throw in here on the commentary side. We'll do some around the grounds as we start to see some games start to finish up. But it's a tight one early in the second term over at Kinetic Stadium. Port Melbourne do lead Casey by 8 points, deep in the time on in that one in the second term. Handball shoveled out towards the boundary line, taken out by Kalen Brown. Inaccurate Richmond, 3-8-26, trailing Werribee, 8-4-52. And earlier we had Williamstown, 56 points to the good over Southport. And the same margin is what separated the Giants from the Zebras. Meanwhile, Cheetahs picks it up there from Davies. Oh, good courage shown there by McPherson. There's the first gamer there in Matheson. Applies a good shepherd. That ball goes out of bounds. We'll see a throw-in. And of course, last night, in a tight contest, I think for the first 3 quarters, the Western Bulldogs recorded a 34-point win over the Bombers at Marvel Stadium. I think a rare occasion where we do have the Smithies VFL just prior to the AFL at Marvel, isn't it? We don't see too many of that happening. Would love to see more of it. And while here at Carrara, Lemons is going to play the loose player in defence for the Suns, which means the Hawks will have to have +1 around this contest somehow. Handball over the top there from O'Brien. McPherson. Elliott. Ran out of tarmac. Boundary throw in. Jalen Thorpe will come off for a spell. So the Hawks have got +1 in defence. Just trying to see where that is. As Lane Ward comes onto the ground. Will be manned up by Caleb Graham as Cheetah's beautifully taken the ground. And by Galen Porter. So both teams playing one loose in defence. 37 points the spread at the moment. Again, a result that, well, an outcome that we just didn't think that was going to be possible here today. Expected a more tighter contest as Max couldn't quite gather the ball. By the time the ball headed in his general direction, he was still at his feet, but he recovered well. Did Maxie Hall. And the leading tackler on the ground today, to the surprise of no one even watching, is Kalen Porter. He's got 6 tackles in 40 minutes of football. Very, very impressive. The captain, the boy from Officer. Quite enjoy a trip down to Officer whenever I can when heading down to Gippsland to catch up with family. Yes, I know I'm up here on the Gold Coast, but Officer was always the last stoppage point before we headed down towards Leongatha and that general vicinity. Anyway, I could talk geography all day. It's here about to talk about AFL football. I hear the Box Hill fans going, just get on with the game, you idiot. Here we are. Graham to Atkins. Got Oya on the far side. And the Hawks have positioned themselves well. They're +2 in defence. Inside that forward 50 at the moment there of the Suns is Sexton. I'd like to see him go to maybe Jake Rogers, who's parked 45 metres out from goal. Sexton will elect to go a little bit longer, where the Hawks do have +1 around this contest. Ball hits the deck. Long couldn't quite take the mark, and now the Hawks have got some problems now. Good pressure there from Alice. There was Sarong. Didn't go 15. Crunched by Ben Long. And we'll see a rush behind. Perhaps the game is starting to balance out just a little bit, but it's the Hawks that are just unable to get the score on the board. So just use some basic cliches. Jack O'Sullivan on the outside locked his game so far. Out towards the boundary line. Cheetahs lays a bone crunching tackle, and Sam Wetton said he didn't have prior opportunity. We'll see a boundary throw in. Almost centre wing on the outer side. Jed Rule comes off for a spell. Honestly, cannot wait. You'll hear this time and time again over the preceding few quarters, but I cannot wait till this young kid lights it up on the AFL field. I know he's not on the list, but please, mid-season draft prospect or a couple more years down the track, get him on an AFL list, please. Ball on the outer side, taken here by the Suns. It's Cheetahs again, who's racking up getting plenty of the ball. Got some options inside the forward 50, but Gunston's playing that loose player in defence, which is causing this momentary stall. Sexton racking up possessions for fun. 55 metres out, just spears the ball inside the forward 50. It was Gunston with the spoil. Good work there from Matheson on the last line of defence. Sarong involved in this passage of play. Kick out towards the outer side again. But we'll go straight back inside 50, and the Hawks will have to reset. And to bring it out towards the near side, the attacking side of the ground. The Suns have got the cavalry to do something. Attacking. Ball falls a little bit short. Long curls the ball around the body, almost kicked the fat side of the ball. Lands about 15 metres out to McPherson. Has Oya. Oya, sidestep. Silky, didn't go 15. Alice over the top to Oya. Oya can kick this. Right foot kick. And he spots up a teammate. Not too bad on the defensive side of things there for Box Hill. They just blocked up that space and caused some hesitation. Unfortunately, an uncontested mark was the outcome. Right foot kick. Goes through for a minor score. So this game is 44 minutes old, and the Hawks have not kicked a goal. But just feel they're not in the game, they're not out of it. There we go. opportunity now for Tyler Brown. Joel Jeffrey standing loose in the defensive half of the ground if the Hawks are trying to go through the corridor. And now Cusbold as well. So, again, we're going to start seeing this hesitation here. Cooper Stevens, a genuine ball winner at this football club. A little bit of maturity around this team with some Geelong experience. Gunston across half-back. Lead offered here by Ed Phillips. And he marks strongly in front of Butterick. Bennett looks like he's just going to be the main option inside the forward 50 there for the Hawks. Ball hits the deck. Comes out now towards Ned Moyle. On hands and knees. There's Bennett. Bennett. Not quite. Minor score. My apologies. That was Jack O'Sullivan. .38 points the margin. Enjoyed watching Bennett and O'Sullivan go toe-to-toe. Kick it back inside the forward 50. Caleb Graham drops the mark. Sexton. Handball over the top. There to O'Brien. Up and under kick. Stevens takes the mark. Good strong contested mark. Jalen Thorpe has to be the target here for the Hawks. Andreas Stefanakis with the ball, looking for Thorpe to almost fly from behind. There's Bennett, right foot kick, looking for O'Sullivan now. But it's Atkins who spoils the party, momentarily runs off his line. And now Oya. Just waiting for one team to land a killer blow. Or a telling blow that might just tell the tale of the next 15 minutes of play here in this second term. Here's Sexton, just relishing his opportunity to run freely across half-back. Here's McPherson, 50 metres out, lowers the eyes. That's better. Better from both sides, better option. Good defensive work there from the Hawks. Paddle the ball up towards O'Brien. There's Sarong, bounces unfortuitously there for his teammate. Sock it off the ground towards the bend right. Deft little tap. The Suns with the extra player around this contest. I think that might be O'Brien up towards Cheetahs. Didn't go 15. Back to O'Brien again. Concedes ground to Sexton. And yet we'll go through his stats in a few moments' time. Big contest in the middle of the ground. Jalen Thorpe and Marnie collide. Alex Sexton. 19 disposals. Make that 20. 20 disposals, Alex Sexton. Racking him up for fun. Inside the forward 50. Casbolt couldn't quite take the mark close to the ground. Ben Long lays the tackle that should see the stoppage. And that we do. And just to put things into perspective, this game has gone 47 minutes. Alex Sexton has got 20 disposals. 21 disposals, I should say, now that's been corrected. 12 kicks, 9 handballs, 7 marks, 2 tackles. How many of them are uncontested? Well, we don't have those statistics available to us. But I'd say most of them probably uncontested, but just fulfilling a role that the team needs. Very much like Sam Flanders is doing very much at halfback in the senior team at present. The Hawks now. Deft little handball over the top to Ryan. Liking what he's able to produce and develop. Kick out towards Jalen Thorpe. Strong hands, almost Buddy Franklin-like with his mobility. Knocked out in the tackle. Umpire said play on. Day handballs to a teammate immediately under pressure. That was O'Brien. Good hard work there from Matheson the first game. It comes out now to Joel Jeffrey. Kick up towards the corridor. They can allow a big knockout punch here, the Suns, because they've got McPherson in the clear on the outer side. Oyo elects to go a little bit longer, back up towards the corridor to Ellis. Long, standing up towards the top of the square. He's got meters in front of him. Looks to go to Casbolt. Good defensive work there for the Hawks. They're +1 around this contest, taking their chances and clearing out towards half-back. Slips over the back. It's now to a 2-on-1 in favour of the Suns again. Oyo caught wrong-footed, has the time to settle, and he does. Harry Morrison, the leading disposal winner on the ground for the Hawks. He's got 14 as Jake Rogers points to Cooper Stevens and says, this is my moment. I'm going to enjoy this. And Jake Rogers today, 8 disposals, 3 clearances for the round 1 draft pick. Azoya, not surprisingly, comes off for a spell for the Suns alongside Harry Morrison there of the Hawks. And Jake Rogers, just a bit beyond him, I feel. 48 metres out from goal, went for the extra distance, comes off hands. And we'll see a boundary throw in left forward pocket. We're almost time on here in this second term. Only 1 goal kick for the quarter. That was a Neb Moyle at the 3rd minute of this term from 25 metres out. Feels like quite some time ago, given the game has been quite balanced out since then. Rucks will go up. Casbolt out towards Rowlands. Taken there by Stevens. He's cannoned out of bounds. We'll see a throw in. Chris Yand with you this afternoon here at Carrara. Our man Caleb on the camera, bringing you all the action right around the country. The final game of Saturday's festivities. 3 umpires in the field today. Next week, with Brisbane and Geelong here in Queensland, we'll have 4 umpires on the field. As Davey squeezes the kick out towards the top of the square. It's taken there by Gunston. Squeezes the kick out. And Ben DiBolfo, the 21-year-old from Heidelberg. Ooh, let's see the ball out of bounds. Boundary throw-in at half-back there for the Hawks, who've not kicked a goal. 51 minutes of football. Ed Phillips has just come onto the ground in the yellow boots. He's a notable goal kicker. Perhaps he could be the player to win the run. Instead, he opts to lay a tackle at the wrong end of the ground, but presents himself with an opportunity to help manufacture something here for the boys from Glenferrie Oval. Here comes Rogers again for disposal. Number 10 goes on his opposite foot. Left foot kick around the body. Taken there by Gunston again. Clever work there by Bodie Ryan. Promising young prospect out towards Max Hall. He's turned the ball over. There's Elliott out towards Atkins. Atkins up towards centre half forward. And here comes Finn Hay inside the 450. That's better. And Long will have a shot on goal at number 2 for him. With the most promising passage of play. But if anything, that's a tremendous insight into how this box heel defence has been playing here in this quarter. 26 inside 50s to 12. 11-5 for the quarter. Ben Long for the second goal of the quarter. Never in doubt. Back to the centre. He's got 2. And this margin is blown out beyond 7 goals at the 22-minute mark. And yes, I'm going to throw it out there. Number 22 has kicked his second goal at the 22-minute mark of the second quarter to put the margin out to 44 points. 44 divided by 2 equals 22. There you go. I'm a nerd. I hope you'll be able to get some mathematical insights there. But, you know, in the namesake of, or the, you know, the theme of Richie Beno, there's more 2s in there than you can imagine. Dare I say, I think that was his second goal from a set shot as well. So we'll take it. 44 points of margin here. You just never know. After a bit of a stalemate with goals, 19 minutes to be exact, you get the teams to reset. Perhaps we could see the Hawks get a centre clearance, get the ball long to Brown inside that forward 50. Said it might go the other way. There's the clearance that we mentioned. It was ill-directed, though, as Joel Jeffrey sidestepped Phillips and was able to find a teammate by foot. Joel Jeffrey just keeps running to Sexton, who's racking them up towards Long. And we'll see a boundary throw-in. Left forward pocket there for the Suns. 44 points the margin. I just received a message. Can you please enlighten me about how many disposals Alex Sexton has had to keep up with the theme? 22. There you go. We'll just rock and roll with that for as long as we can. Here comes Casbolt. He turns the ball over. Tackle there from Oya, putting his head there to ground. Squeezed out of there from Casbolt, minus score. He's got 2 goals, 1 on the board today. The 24-minute mark of this term, 45 points in margin. Hawks can't really afford to come out to this near side as Caleb Graham is virtually unopposed in defence. And he'll continue to do as he pleases. Well, the mark has been taken here by Jack O'Sullivan. Been one of the best for mine for the Hawks. Looking for Jalen Thorpe. Couldn't quite take the mark. In fact, it was sharked there beautifully from Lemons. Out towards Sexton. Is he a chance at the half century today? Take nothing away from his game. But he could rack up 50. And 40 of them would be uncontested. But again, fulfilling his role. It's a treat to watch, though. McPherson marks. He's got Jeffrey there in support. The two link up. Jeffrey now sidesteps the incoming traffic. Right foot kick inside the forward. 50! And that's better. They carried the ball out towards it from the attacking side. And Ben Long on the wrong side for a right footer. But here in the Smithies VFL, particularly here in Queensland, this has been a very, very good pocket for right footers. Not to put the pressure on him, but this is to put the margin beyond 50 points. A couple of Hawks coming to the ground. Long. Oh, geez, he's good, isn't he? It's been a great pocket for kicking goals, perhaps all over the country, but I can only go by from what I've seen in season 2024 up here in Queensland. There's a beautiful finish there from Ben Long. He has got a game-high goal tally of 3. As we hit the 26-minute mark, and as I mentioned before, you can go a long time without goals, and when you get one, teams get a chance to reset with the 6-6-6 rule, and it just opens up the pattern for more attacking opportunities. If not for Thorpe narrowly missed an opportunity almost directly after that centre bounce, or shortly after the centre bounce from the last goal. Ball goes up the other end, we've got a goal. So we've got 2 goals in 4 minutes as opposed to 2 goals in 19 minutes of play that we had seen previously. Ed Phillips here on the commentary wing alongside McPherson. Rogers tries to get up and he's taken the ground. Alex Sexton, 23 disposals. Callum Porter, 9 tackles to go with 3 clearances and 8 disposals. So those are the 2 players we're going to be keeping an eye on today as Reeves inadvertently gets high contact. Umpire was blindsided in that instance there. Cooper Stevens goes out, paddles the ball behind him. Bumped off the ball there, Brandon Ellis. Peeds on the lays a good tackle, gets the free kick, told to settle. It might be Butterick. Sexton screaming for it. It's Atkins. And Atkins says, "You've had enough, young Alex." So play's just sort of coming to a halt at the moment. Thumping kick along the outer side. Ned Moore will be the player in the gun and he marks. He's got a one-on-one at the top of the goal square and young Ned says, "I'm one of the best in the business at what I do in the Smithies VFL. I'm going to back myself here." And he's a young player that is just loaded with potential. I've been privileged to see a lot of merging ruckman across the competition. And he has been simply wonderful. Alongside Sam Naismith, who got picked up last year, and the kick just goes out to the far side. He's got 1 goal, 1 on the board on a quarter for the Hawks. 16-6 for the second quarter. So let's see how the Hawks can go here in this third quarter. They have they've played well in patches. Clearances and stoppages in general are pretty even. 21-20 on the hit-outs in favour of the Suns. But here comes Galen Porter up towards Jalen Thorpe. Drops the mark there for the Hawks. It was their first big opportunity to make a statement. As Butterick marks, plays on, works his way up through the corridor now. Here the Suns. Alex Davies got Sam Day long inside the forward 50 up towards the top of the square. As Jeffries takes a little bit off the kick. Good spoil there from the Hawks. Socket off the ground by the young star there in Ryan. Here comes Jake Rogers, the young star from the Suns, penalised, holding the ball. A kick out towards the outer side, and Rule was the intended target. Marked there by Gold Coast. Clearance is 19-17 in favour of the Suns, so again, pretty even in the stoppage department. Left foot kick looking for Day! Couldn't quite take the mark. Oya there at ground level. Bounces to his feet, right foot kick, looking for Long. Oh, he was the third player in the rank and took the mark. Well, we have seen Damien Hardwick start to move the magnets around during the off-season, moving Ben Long into a more prominent role inside that forward half, while moving the likes of Alex Sexton and Jack Lukosius to the half-back flank. More previously forwards. Ben Long for goal number 4. Beautiful finish. Beautiful finish. 50 points plus to the good, the Suns. They get the first goal on the board 2 minutes into the third term. And Ben Long, he's got 4. Just that costly little turnover across half-back. And forces... And by the sounds of it, I've really got my maths wrong. It is 58 points to the good. 61-3. That is not a typo. Quite stunned. Definitely not the result. Given the young experience that the Hawks have, the great talent that they've got coming through, they've got a lot of, a couple of first games, a couple of first-year players, but those have really held some good positioning. I mean, Ben DiBolfo, while he's got the job on Levi Casbolt, very likely type. Cheetahs spun around in the tackle, comes out to Oya, had a very impressive game. As Huago Oya, formerly known as Ace, out up along the boundary line there. Good pressure. GAW went gone. Free kick. It'll go to the Hawks. Across half back. Impressive work. They need to come out towards the commentary side of the ground. They've got players on this side. The Suns are +2 around this contest. Ball hits the deck. Jalen Brown swung, missed it, comes out now to Jeffrey. Darts in and out of traffic. He needs to bring it out towards the near side. They've got options through the corridor now. Here comes Cheetahs. Has Jeffrey running by. Got Ben Long, who's on Bodie Ryan, standing about 35 metres out from goal. Can feel that might be the desired outcome. Charlie Elliott, that cheeky little left foot kick in the first term was the stuff of brilliance. Butterick back out now to Elliott. Works his way through the corridor. Hospital handball out towards Rogers. He's taken a ground beautifully there by the Suns, by the Hawks, I should say. The young Maxi finds his teammate there in Rule. Left foot kick. Ricochets out toward Lemon. They're +1 around this contest, the Hawks. They've got to get it out of this. Got to clear out on the commentary wing. Thorpe, he's got no one ahead of him now. In fact, he has Gunston out of the corner of his eye and he finds him. And that is the most prominent passage of play that we've seen from the Hawks all day. And that started from Jed Rule across half back, that little left foot kick to a 3-on-2 in favour of his team. They're able to create some space there for Jalen Thorpe. And Jack Gunston has kicked plenty of these across the stretch. This for their first goal. They haven't kicked a goal in 62 minutes of play. And that is going to continue on a little bit longer. And Gunston, who has played a sweeper role across half back today in patches, 57 points the spread. Yendi with you here on the stick. We've got our main man Caleb here on camera bringing you all the action. As Atkins brings the ball out. Good work there from Deer. Just able to force a stoppage. And we are on Alex Sexton watch today. And quite fittingly, with the sun blaring on the camera. Sorry, on the laptop screen. Can't even see what's in front of me. Alex Sexton still on 23 disposals. Ball falls a little bit short here. Comes out now to Rogers. Rogers hard up on the boundary line. Squeezes the kick up towards high half forward. DiBolfo and Long. Oh, Long, beautiful. Just over the top. Overcooked it on the kick. And Sarong marks, defensive 15, out to a 2-on-1, Deer. No, it's not Deer, it's Porter. 55-35. Same. Up towards Thorpe. Thorpe recovers well. He's got Gunston. He needs to lower the eyes, and he does. He's got a teammate up towards the top of the square in Stefanakis. And he's just got to go back and have a shot here, Gunston. Galen Porter, 11 tackles for Box Hill today. To go with his 4 clearances, 10 disposals. Not often you see a player getting double digits in tackles before they get double digits in disposals. But Gunston, to end the rut, it has to end at some point. It's not going to end now. It goes straight across the face of goal. And dare we say, could we very well be seeing the final game of the famous number 19 for the Hawks here at Carrara. Deer, beautiful spoil. Textbook work there from Deer. Father-son prospect last year, picked up with selection number 56. The Sandy Dragons. Defensive work, just like his old man. No doubt be proud of what he's able to achieve. Now he's in the ruck today. Got a bit of height about him. I think he's given away the free kick plus a few extra centimetres in height. And Ned Moyle will take the free kick. So the Hawks are +1 down the line here. Jed Rule playing the loose defender about 35 metres down the line this side, which is why Cheetahs is forced to concede some ground. Good defensive work here from the Hawks. Joel Jeffrey, he's got Ned Moyle further up the corridor. Able to create some separation off Deer. Strong mark taken. He's got Long, who offers a lead 35 metres out from goal, down the corridor. Let's go a little bit longer. Ricochets into the man on the mark. Out towards Butterick. Handball was a stray. Cooper Stevens, he's wrapped up to Morrison. And they're off now, the Hawks. They've got no one inside the forward 50. Will they just hold it up? They will. Lead is offered short there from O'Sullivan. And, well, he's been one of the players I've loved seeing today from the Hawks. And it would be fitting to call the first goal of the Hawks today, and it comes off the boot of this young star, Jack O'Sullivan, pick number 46 in the 22 draft. Missed most of his draft last year, a groin injury, yet to make his debut. But with the performances that he has showcased today, feel that those opportunities won't be too far away. Pulls the trigger 45 metres out from goal. He's got it. And they're going to get around in 2, and they should. It has taken 67 minutes for the Hawks to get their first goal on the board. 67 minutes. But they've got it through a great outlet. Margin back to 51 points. And we'll just go through his stats today. Jack O'Sullivan, 9 disposals. And shown plenty of promise and potential. So their first goal, and they've worked hard for it. Jack O'Sullivan just being that impact player. A lot to get excited about. So 1-4-10 to 9-7, 61, 51 points the spread. Moyle brings down the ball down the ground. He's now up against Clay Tucker in the ruck there for the Hawks. Kick squeezed out of there by Rule. Up towards Gunston there at high half forward. Butterick arches the back, squeezes out now to Jeffrey. Jeffrey on his opposite foot, an up and under kick, leaving a little bit of work there for Oyer. Phillips gets front position, but it's a 2-on-1 at ground level there in favour of the Suns, and they should raffle this. Rogers, Corral towards the boundary line, back to Davies. Good work there by Rule. You cannot rule out his ruthless aggression, and Jed Rule, I've said it time and time again today, it's not what he does with the ball, which at times is impressive, but it's what he does when he hasn't got the ball and just those multiple efforts. There was that period in the first term, 28-minute mark of the first term. Go back and have a look at the tape. He offered 4 really good defensive efforts that led with a disposal and a clearing kick out across half back. That's what you want to see from these young Hawks. Not on the main list, but definitely one to consider in the future. Rogers now, especially one to consider for the future. He's got plenty of potential out towards Davies. Takes a little bit off the kick, looking for Long. Falls a little bit too long. And Bennett's there across right half back for the Hawks. 51 points the margin. Spearing kick to Stevens. All one-on-ones ahead, although Butterick playing the defensive loose player. It'll come out towards his general vicinity. Tackle was fine. Hey now. You're a rock star. Get your game on. Go play. Okay. All that glitter is gold. And so is that piece of commentary, if I may say so. There's the Gold Coast Suns here on the commentary wing. Looking for Day. Good defensive work. Clearing it out through Daniel Wood. And we'll see a boundary throw in at right half forward. 12 minutes gone here in this third term. And the Suns have loaded up in the defensive half of the ground as Harry Sullivan comes onto the ground for the Suns. Caleb Graham playing that loose defender, almost in the middle of the ground. On the near side, should the ball come out, Ellis showed potential at times. Struggled to get in the game as there is a little bit going on off the ball. Bit of wrestling going on as Long almost has his head taken off, but ducked his head. Kick up towards the top of the square. Comes Sarong. Sarong has oil hot on his hammer. Just got the kick out in the nick of time. And it should go out towards the boundary line, and that it does. As Bailey McDonald almost joins the many fans that will be sitting there later today in the crowd. But quite a few fans here that have come in early. They're all sitting on our side of proceedings. They do open up one gate early just to funnel all the viewers here to the punters to enjoy the action on the right forward pocket. And all beneath us where we are. We're sitting up in the top deck. 51 points the margin. 13 and a half minutes gone. Usually see a flurry of goals here at this ground, but particularly from the home side, but we are seeing a different side from them as Rogers squeezes the kick out up towards the top of the square. There's Long. Did he get boot? No, he didn't. $14 minutes gone. As someone who enjoys seeing the development of young stars, it's great seeing young Jake Rogers when he gets his opportunities. And Bodie Ryan, one of those players who's stepping up, making his mark. He's now got 10 disposals and a tackle to his name. Finds Max Hall. Kicks the ball along the boundary line. Good spoil there from Graham. Lemons shrugs off his opponent. Gets it out now to Jeffrey. Just hacks it forward to a couple of one-on-one contests. Day left it for Cheetahs. Davies just gets a beautiful tackle. GAW and gone. Great run down here from Josh Bennett, the Category B rookie from Listerfield. And he's got speed to burn. He's got 11 disposals. That was his first tackle, and it was one to remember. As they look to settle across the outer side. We've got Rule further along on centre wing. Now that avenue has been diffused with Marnie sitting in the spot 40 metres out or 40 metres down the line. So Marnie will be the player should the ball come to ground. Sullivan there for the Hawks. Kicked the opening goal, their only goal so far. Handball was ill-directed over the top to McPherson. Was he taken high? No, he wasn't. In fact, it was a perfect tackle. And umpire Jake Edgar will throw it up. Jake Edgar, one of the young guns coming through. The umpire department here in Queensland umpired the QAFL Grand Final last year as Aspley defeated Redlands Victoria Point to win their consecutive premierships. So since Aspley have come out of the VFL, they have won the past two State League Senior Men's Premierships with their now former coach, Daniel Webster. He's now going on to coach the Hawks in the AFLW. So there's plenty of Box Hill fans will be very familiar with that connection. Casbolt kicked a memorable goal in that first term, was able to get body on ball there. Comes out now to Bennett again. Handball out to Rule. Hacks the ball off the step around about 50 metres up towards Thorpe through his outstretched arms. Here comes Lemons. Sharks the ball across half back. Handball over the top. Looking for Harry Sullivan to Finhay. He's got an option further down the line in Zach O'Brien. That was ignored, so he's got to go further down. In fact, he does find O'Brien, who sprinted further 20 metres up. So Casbolt is directing the kick to go to Sam Day. And that's where the ball will go to. Ricochets off. Deft little tap there from Long. They're still in here, the Suns. Maxey out to Brown, out to Sarong. Off a step. Looking for Thorpe. Oh, his teammate got in the way. Clay Tucker. And they've sold themselves into some trouble here, the Hawks. But Clay Tucker, a mongrel-looking kick across centre half back. Out towards the first gamer there in Lane Ward. Puts it in the space there of a teammate who paddles it in front of him. He's wrapped up there by three Suns, and that might end up being a victory. It's even a victory now because they managed to clear the ball out of that disposal, or that little hustle. And here comes Butterick again. 52 points the margin. Only one goal kick for the quarter. Over the top now as the fans coming in. They're wondering, is it a tight battle? And it has been for the most part. 5-0 in the first term. Looked like the game was going to break right open. And I'm just wondering, perhaps, we haven't seen Alex Sexton on the ground, whether something has indeed happened or his time is finished for the day. As Casbolt falls to ground prematurely. Deer, a little bit hot on the handball there. Taken there by O'Brien. Handball's over the top to Dubolfo. Floating kick. And here comes Deer again, getting better in this second half, getting better as the game goes along. On the bounce, looking for Tucker, has his teammate there in support in O'Sullivan. An up and under kick, looking for Thorpe. He's got so much potential, does Jalen Thorpe. But sometimes he has to do a little bit too much on his own, and they've got options on the outer side. Now we just need... Well, the Hawks have actually settled. They've got three players down the line, which is now forcing the Suns to come out towards the near side. They're able to push across very, very quickly, the Hawks. Probably since halfway through the second term, I should say. They've been outstanding. The game has sort of been on level pegging terms. Deer is playing the loose defender for the Hawks. Standing in front of Casbolt with Ben Dubolfo on Casbolt. So that's why we're just seeing the Suns try and position themselves to try and keep the ball away from Deer. So this movement that we're seeing here is because Kalshare Deer is sitting 25 metres out from goal, straight down the corridor. So if I'm the Suns, I'm probably trying to bring an option, trying to find an option on the near side. Instead, they're going straight back up. And Deer will be, well, in close proximity. Comes out now to Marnie. They must kick this goal, they do. Not quite there, McPherson. And Darcy McPherson gets a minor score. "20 minutes gone. 53 points the margin. We appreciate your company wherever you may be watching. It's an interesting game, at least. Seeing some young talent come through. And the Hawks, they've shown a lot of resilience since that opening term. 5 goals on the board in relatively quick succession to some degree for the Suns. And it hasn't really stood up to many great heights since then. Not one for the highlight reel, more for individual efforts. I'd probably say as a caller, not calling last week, didn't get the tap on the shoulder with the VFL at Sample, but great work there from Jace Bennett and the team, and all those who had the chance to call VFLW last week. But the last two games that I've had the privilege of calling up here in Queensland, Brisbane beat Collingwood by 2 points, and Werribee beat Southport by, I think, 3 or 4 points. We've had some pretty close games. This one has just been a strong game of chess, really, between Zane Littlejohn and Tate Kaesler, respective coaches of the sides. Davies goes to ground. He's wrapped up by Deer. But I think we probably it'd be safe to say Alex Sexton's day is done. Hopefully more for just resting duties as the ball goes out of bounds again. We were discussing earlier that Alex Sexton, I should say, would go on and get 50 disposals and 40 of them would be uncontested. Such is the nature of the beast, of the game that he was playing. Is the battle between Tucker and Moyle. Another clearance there for the Hawks. Another good contest there between Thorpe and Caleb Graham. The Hawks are in better position here as Brown pumps the ball inside the forward 50, looking for Gunston. Nudges his man underneath the ball. That might be Butterick across half back. It wasn't. It was Cheetahs to Ellis. Back to Graham. Overcooked it on the kick on the outer side. Sock it off the ground. Almost a kick to touch. And that is going to be deliberate. Umpire Jake Edgar would have nothing of it. So now the Hawks with the ball on the outer wing. Now it might be Bennett's or O'Sullivan. Beautiful kick. And he finds Gunston on the burst. We had a shot from an identical position earlier on in this quarter. The kick went across the face of goal. And he's not so sure that he wants to take the shot. Now I think he has. He has to commit now. Let's look at the leading tackler on the board today, Kalen Porter. 12 tackles. Leading the way for the Hawks. Gunston. And he misses to the near side. So 24 minutes gone in this term. 52 points the spread. Crowd starting to fill up here. Perhaps they can put on a really good show in the final term. It's been a strong game of defences. A perfect day weather-wise. No rain. A little bit of wind that has swung from one end of the ground to the other. Up towards the AFL logo, taken there by Tucker. Picked up at the mid-season draft last year. Falling from the Eastern Rangers. And the Box Hill VFL, right at home. Tucker, big booming kick inside the forward 50. There's only one player that was going for it. That was Graham. He was able to impede on the spoil. Almost a future shock DDT laid there on Zach O'Brien there of the Suns. Drew McIntyre in the WWE be very proud of that one. I think there's a WWE reference done for the day. Ned Moore brings it down the ground. Looking for O'Brien there at ground level. Hacked out of there by Alex Davies. Still inside the field of play, only momentarily. And we'll see a throw-in. Reminder of winners today. GWS and Williamstown. 56-point winners over Sandy and Southport, respectively. Now the Suns just bombing the ball up towards high half forward. And another strong defensive spoil. Off hands there from Ed Phillips. So I'll give you three-quarter time scores. Port Melbourne 67 lead Casey 53. Things are starting to tighten up at Avalon Airport. The Tigers looked like they were Well, that result was a foregone conclusion. Well, Werribee lead that one 66-39. So we could see a late run home there for Richmond at Avalon. That game's still going. But that one between Port Melbourne and Casey, that is just about to start. We're going to have a 50-metre penalty. And it's going to put Andreas Stefanakis, the 23rd man, the 19-year-old from Old Hailberry. He'll have a shot at goal from close range. And despite the sort of contest that we've had, this will actually hand them the win for the quarter, should he be successful. Or should any score come to fruition. It was 52 points the margin. But he'll want to cap it off with a goal. Stefanakis. Question of accuracy. Got it. They've got 2 for the quarter. Bit of respectability on the scoreboard here for Box Hill. It may not be the prettiest game that we've seen here in season 2024, but you can't deny the tremendous fight that this Box Hill team has shown. Andreas Stefanakis, the 23rd man. It was the first goal from a 50-metre penalty all day today. Margin back to 46 points. If I was Zane Littlejohn, bringing some theatre, bringing some energy to this contest, I would throw Jed Rule smack bang in the middle and just watch this impressive young kid just carve it up. He's here on the wing anyway. Marnie, he's wrapped up by Morrison. He was taken too high the first one. In fact, it was the fend-off, so free kick to Morrison. Morrison inside the forward 50. Thorpe flew from the front. Jalen Thorpe. He's beautifully tackled. Didn't have prior opportunity. Hard up there on the boundary line. Trying to weave some magic. And we'll see a throw-in. Eight points the margin. Over at Port Melbourne, 67-59. And the Tigers, of the Richmond variety, they're back to 20 points against Werribee. That could be an interesting finale, that one. That ball belted towards the boundary line, and umpire Sam Wetton says, throw it in. So we've got 3 field umpires out there today, but next week at Michael Voss Oval, or Springfield, we're going to have 4 umpires in the field. This might be something we might come to see a lot more of as we see the transition. Anyway, we'll get more into that later. Hawks back inside the forward 50. Looking for Thorpe to fly again. He doesn't need to fly. He stands his ground. Handball up towards Gunston. Rush behind. But yes, we'll see 4 field umpires for Brisbane v Geelong next week in the Smithies VFL. McPherson should be the next link in the chain here on the commentary side of the ground. No, he squeezes the kick out. Out of bounds on the full. Box Hill really bringing their A game. It's Kalen Brown. Inside the forward 50. Moyle goes to ground. As Sullivan goes to ground as well. Gunston there again as Moyle is slow to his feet there for the Suns. Off the back of the pack here. Still down on his haunches. And it's Lemons, my apologies. So Moyle, he's fine. Wins the clearing hit out. Zach O'Brien wins the free kick. This quarter has gone for 30 minutes. In comparison, the first quarter went for 30 minutes and we saw 5 goals. This quarter we've seen 3. So I can't imagine there'd be that much time left as we approach 3-quarter time. As the stands start to fill up, fans gathering in anticipation for perhaps a blockbuster final quarter from both sides that might deliver and serve as a nice entree for the AFL game coming up later today. Casbolt with a one to fly. Can't mark. Taken there by Oyer. Here's Jeffrey. No one inside the forward 50. In fact, there is in McPherson. Long arches the back. And that was their moment. A little bit of excitement towards the end of that quarter. But it's the Suns 9-9 Victoria and across Australia here in the Smithies VFL. So if you're a Hawks fan, just plenty to love ahead of footy here on the Gold Coast. Bennett, cheeky little handball over the top. Oh, even better. The finish was almost there for the first game. Lane Ward spent it before he had it. The roar of the occasion lit up. His eyes lit up like dinner plates. Perhaps a sign of things to come. And look, putting myself as the footy fan here. Jed Raw is around this contest. Get the ball out to him and watch him kick a long goal from long range. That's the sort of player that he is, this young star. You can see him right here in front of Cheetahs. He's got the headband on. He kicked the goal here last year. He's got a thumping left foot kick. It's just a treat to watch. He might come into play here. Right foot kick inside the forward 50. Looking for Gunston. Good spoil there from Graham. Ball there at ground level now. Young Maxi sidesteps one, ran out of bounds. Max Hall from Montrose, part of the leadership group. There's the ball out of bounds. Boundary throw-in. Looking at the progress of Caelan Brown. A promising game. Former Magpie. Morrison appears on the tackle. There is Brown. Now he marked that. No, he didn't. Umpire allowed it to continue. Slips out the back. Beautiful tackle laid on Andreas Stefanakis. We'll see a ball up 15 metres out from goal. And here's Jed. Boundary side. And a free kick for a hold. And we'll go to the Suns. One of the things I sort of think about with the VFL was the last time I called a game here, we had 3 players go up and make their AFL debut. Sam Clossy, Ethan Reid, Will Graham. Richmond played in that particular game. Kane McAuliffe, a handful of weeks later, made his debut as well after made his AFL debut. So we had 4 players from that game within the space of 2 VFL games across the 4 of them, all making their AFL debut after being drafted last year. This is just what I love about this VFL competition. I look at kids like Jed Rule and some of the others out there that have got some enormous potential and upside to their game. AFL opportunities may not be too far away. And I know Jed is on the VFL list, but with the opportunities now through the mid-season draft, there's just so much opportunity there for some of these younger kids to not only impress, but also get slot straight into it. I know Richmond last year, as we have a stoppage on the outer side, they had, I think it was James Tresize, part of their VFL program. He wore number 63 for Richmond in the VFL, got picked up in the mid-season draft and wore number 36 and made his debut a few weeks after. So that is this potential, this pool of talent that we've got here in the VFL. And I look at Box Hill, we've got a decorated history of players coming through the VFL and making their AFL debut or getting picked up by AFL clubs. It's just so good that they can come up here and be part of the action here in Queensland, where I get the privilege of being able to see them. As Brandon Ellis just got the handball away. Ball through the corridor now. Will Rowlands has a teammate there, burns him. Runs an extra 10 metres, puts the ball up towards long. Not quite. Good work there from young Bodie Ryan. Up and under kick there from Jake Rogers. Did it go the 15? Ball hits the deck. Here's an opportunity. Rowlands. He's got it. Well, he burnt his teammate running through the corridor and he finished it off with a beautiful goal 25 seconds later. That is one for the highlights reel. That's great work ethic there from Will Rowlands. And as I was discussing before, with younger players coming through, getting an opportunity to play AFL football, Will Rowlands is another one that can't be discounted for his potential. He's had a good, solid 2 games. Had the pleasure of watching him during the pre-season game against Southport, and I was sitting there with Kane Browning, who's the league caller here for men's footy here in the QAFL here in Queensland, and we just loved so much of what he was able to bring. And he played in that practice game with Ethan Reid, Jake Rogers, Leo Lombard, a number of other players, Glossy, who ended up making his debut. It's our first look at some of these kids on an AFL list. So much potential. Here come the Hawks. Another centre clearance. Slips out the back. Hawks have got some numbers. Good handball over the top there from the first gamer. To O'Sullivan. Still inside the field of play. There's Gunston. Oh, beautiful finish. Full credit to Jack O'Sullivan. And that little assist from the debutant from Old Carey, the 18-year-old Lane Ward. And the Hawks, they've got 3 of the last 4 goals here at Carrara. Again, plenty to like with this talent. And the fans here have been screaming for it in the third quarter. The gates have been open. We're starting to see a few more people come through. Let's just see them deliver a nice little entree to what we may see tonight. So for the Hawks, after this week, they host North Melbourne. For the Suns, they travel on the road to Sydney. I think they play tomorrow. But that does serve as a timely reminder to check the scores. There's some big games going on in the Smithies VFL. I'll get back to them shortly. Chris Yend with you on the stick today. Hope you're enjoying the coverage wherever you may be watching. Kick inside the forward 50. Was it in the back? Umpire Sam Wetton was in good position. Deere tried to plead his case. The kick was a little bit too hot there for Rowlands. Here's a chance for Max. Max Hall. It out towards Kalen Brown. Handball's up the corridor, but it's intercepted there by Ned Moore. Good pressure here by the Hawks. Well done there from Deere. Handball over the top to Jeffrey. He's got a teammate there in support. They might go the 1-2. They don't. McPherson now. Right foot kick up towards Day. He's got Jeffrey who's still sprinting long. Suns player, Cosbowl has fallen down behind play. It sets up long. It's Saturday afternoon. There's a good feel in the air, and it's 5-pack time here as the Suns go coast to coast. And Ben Long has 5 in a match-winning performance here for the Suns. And that was sublime. Back to 51 points. And they had some opportunities there, the Hawks. They worked really well defensively. Quick around the grounds in the Smithies VFL in the meantime. Werribee 11-7-73. They've looked to hold off the Tigers. 7-10-52, 25 and a half gone. But for the first time today, Casey have hit the front against Port Melbourne. They lead that 11-11, 77 to 11-9, 75. We've just hit time on in the final term. Casey have come out of nowhere. They trailed by 16 points early in the first quarter in a low-scoring affair. And they've managed to go on a bit of a tear, kicking 10 of 17 goals. They've hit the front over at Kinetic Stadium. So that has been well worth keeping an eye on throughout the day. A big fight back there from the Demons. Kick up towards high half. Forward, Casbold, who lost his footing. Can't get around the strong Box Hill defence. Up towards Cooper Stevens. And Max Hall gets the ball out now to a teammate. Here's the first gamer. Opportunity now for young Lane. Has bumped a little bit off the kick. Onoya sends it out of bounds. Boundary throw in. Rory Atkins leads the disposal count on the board today. He's got 26 leading all incomers, and he's also got 13 marks. Alex Sexton had 23 disposals in the first half, and he's been his day finished at half time. Leading tackler on the ground today, though, with 11 disposals. Kalen Porter, he's got 15. He had 10 in that first half. Another first gamer here in Matheson. Sends the ball inside the forward 50, looking for Thorpe. Thorpe now deft, little tap. Tap to advantage. Got a teammate there in support. Handball back up. Oh, like a slippery eel. How's the finish? That is as good a goal as you'll see today. And straight on the high right reel from the young talented star, Jackie O'Sullivan. And, talking up the socials, that is a beautiful piece of finish. I hope that we see that on the social media. Lovely work there from Jalen Thorpe, keeping it inside the field of play. And Jack O'Sullivan, who's had a solid game today at the 10-minute mark, kicked the first goal for the Hawks. Back to 45 points, so they've traded blows. But we're not seeing blows being traded at Kinetic Stadium because it's all going one way. Casey out to an 8-point lead. 22 minutes gone in the final term. They lead that one 83-75. All the momentum with the Melbourne side. Melbourne affiliated side in the Smithies VFL. Make sure you check out the podcast State of Play. That is compulsive listening. That comes out in the middle of every week. Wonderful stars over there. Part of the media team. They've been churning out some wonderful content, wonderful interviews. Always look forward to when that comes out in the middle of the week. State of Play podcast, the official podcast of the Smithies VFL, covering the VFL and the VFLW. Leading clearance winner on the ground today, to the surprise of no one, Ned Moyle, the ruckman. Max Hall dishes it out now to Stevens inside the attacking half of the ground. Lemons goes back with the flight of the ball and he marks. Casey, you've just added another goal. They've kicked 3 goals in the space of 4 minutes. 89-75 over there. They've got that one pretty much sewn up unless a miracle happens. Rollins now. Chester takes the mark. And a few highlights in this final term to greet the punters as they come in ahead of the AFL clash coming up later tonight. All right, in about, I think, 2.5 hours' time or so. Be a little bit of a break between the two games. Ben Long today, the enforcer, inside the forward 50, perhaps someone to look at in the future, as Atkins spears the ball inside the forward 50. And that is Marnie, who has taken an uncontested mark. I could see in the foreground there that Harry Morrison just put his hands on his head as soon as he saw Marnie take the mark. Just poor checking from the Box Hill defence. You can hear the wind coming through the microphone. It's windy up here, maybe a little bit windy down there, but it is windier up here. Ball lands towards the top of the square. Here comes Jake Rogers. Get some good pressure there from Rule. Handball's back up towards the first gamer lane. Like a slippery eel, squeezes it out now to Rule and up, but under kick. Is that a pass? That is one of the more bizarre things you'll see today. That is a rush behind there from Rule. But it might work out for them. You've got to give a point to get 6 points. Perhaps that was the method of the madness as they look to push the ball on the outer wing and try to get alongside the attacking half of the ground. They've got the +1 around this contest now, but they haven't got much going forward because Caleb Graham is standing along the side of the 50 arc, causing this turmoil here for Box Hill. They're able to find a spare player there in Jack O'Sullivan, spearing the ball up towards Gunston. And that was touched. It goes out of bounds. So Ned Moyle today, 38 hit-outs, 7 clearances, a goal to go with his 16 disposals. Rory Atkins, 28 disposals today. Generally speaking, when it's just for entertainment purposes, but I always look at a 3-2-1 at the end of the day. The players who have had the biggest influence. We'll get back to that in a moment's time. As Brown puts the ball up towards the top of the square. Here's an opportunity. Right foot kick around the body. Hits the woodwork. I think that there was from Bennett's. Bit of a bright spark inside that forward half for the Hawks. I always look at a 3-2-1 for those who have had maximum effort that have perhaps exceeded expectations. But I really look at Kalen Porter, 15 tackles today. He certainly comes into someone that I would factor into a 3-2-1, not the 3. But then I look at the Suns and Sexton dominated across half-back in the first half, and Atkins has stepped in where he's left off. Ben Long, 5 goals today. Perhaps a defining performance for him in his football career. Formerly a defender, being used inside the forward half of the ground in all VFL simulations or practice matches, however you'd like to refer it. But anyway, here we go. There's Ed Phillips now through the middle of the ground. Right foot kick finds Gunston. And Gunston's already kicked one. Had more than his fair share of opportunities. But yes, the 3-2-1 today is always going to be challenging because I just feel from the Suns it's just been a solid team effort. The Hawks have had plenty of young stars that have impressed. Gunston now, 45 metres out from goal, has drilled it. He's got 2 for the quarter. We could be seeing the last of Jack Gunston at this very arena, but if it is the case, he's finishing his time here. Not saying he may not play next year, but depends if the Hawks do come up to this part of the country. But he has kicked 2 goals in this last quarter. So it's almost like a nice little present to finish up with. And we're down to 39 points. 11-10 to 5-7. And Rory Atkins, well, here's an extraordinary stat for you. He's had 31 disposals, 20 kicks, 18 marks. We don't have the uncontested and contested possession. But I'll probably be fair in saying that of those 18 marks, 15 of them might have been uncontested. But again, that's the role that he played, and we said that with Sexton in the first half. Francis on the outer side started the game with a great goal. And a holding the ball decision that will go to the Suns. Davies has had his moments today. Disposal number 14. Good defensive work there by Sarong on the outer side. Comes out now to Oya, concedes ground. Did it go to 15? Only just. There's not much movement happening inside the forward 50 for the Suns, other than Box Hill have +2 in defence. Then about 30 metres out from goal. Day brings it down to ground. Alice, he goes to ground. And come the Hawks across half back. They've never stopped running all day. Brown picks it up. It wasn't Brown. It was Daniel Wood. Right foot kick, a worm burning one at that. Jeffries just parks behind the contest. And he's wrapped up straight away. Just got the handball out in the nick of time. The Hawks were crying for holding the ball. It did fall in the lap of one of them. And Graham, who's been instrumental across the defensive half of the ground. There's Atkins, handball over the top, disposal number 32. Back up the corridor. Here's an opportunity now for Moyle. Davies, he had Matheson hot on his hammer. Jeffrey could pull the trigger from 50. Instead, he decides to lower the eyes. Casbolt kicked an impressive goal in the first term. Looking for Cheetahs. Back to Jeffrey. To Cheetahs. Goes on his left. Puts it up towards the top of the square. Some acrobatic stuff shown there by young Ryan in the defensive half of the ground there for the Hawks. Clearing kick up towards the corridor. There goes Atkins with the spoil. Perhaps his most prominent effort of today to go with his 32 disposals. And now we look to reset. Finn Hay. The kick was anything but memorable. And here comes the first game. And Matheson was trying to do it all on his own. Laid the tackle. Hay went up and picked up his mistake. Will Rowlands today. Coming up for disposal number 10. Up towards high half forward. And that's Moyle, who had a shot on goal from a similar distance out in the second term and missed. Instead, he handballs out to Jeffrey. Jeffrey pulls the trigger from 52 metres out from goal. Sublime. Absolutely sublime from Joel Jeffrey. And good assist there from Ned Moyle. And the Suns have their 12th. As we approach time on here in this final term. And we've seen 6 goals in this final quarter. And so far, it is the highest scoring quarter that we've seen today, eclipsing the 5 goals that we saw all from the Gold Coast Suns in that first term. I do want to praise the efforts of Deer from the Hawks today. He's going to be going into the ruck against Moore in this contest, but his second half efforts been very impressive. That third quarter showed a lot of promise and potential. I'm really looking forward to seeing how he can develop and perhaps be another formidable tool in the Hawks lineup, as he does win the hit out almost unopposed there against Ned Moyle. As if on cue, in fact, with Deer having an influence. We're seeing young Andrew Matheson in front of us now, just cramping up a little bit in the number 72 for the Hawks. Perhaps there's still opportunity for him to make a mark on the game, as Tucker in front of Jeffrey, taken the ground, rolled over, and we should see a stoppage. I would imagine now we'd have some full-time scores from around the grounds in the Smithies VFL. Well, the Demons, 15 points to the good at the moment. Over Port Melbourne. Lovely work. Left foot kick. And all the hard work was executed trying to gather the ball and see it go out of bounds on the full. Full time, though. In several games already. Today, we'll Werribee 21-point winners over Richmond, 73-52. The Tigers were manning a comeback in the last quarter, didn't eventuate. Ball hits the deck, 60 metres out from the Hawks' goal. Ricochets out now. Here come the Suns. Lovely work there from the Hawks. They just have not stopped trying today. Their efforts have been very, very good. Particularly since about the 5-minute mark of the second term, the game has been pretty even, at least statistically, but even the feel of general play. And again, the leading clearance winner so far today is Ned Moyle there for the Suns. He's got 7 to go with 39 hitouts. Here come the Hawks again. Right foot kick inside the forward 50. Hits the woodwork. And they were getting ready to celebrate. 44 points the margin. We hit the 22.5-minute mark. The third quarter, which was the longest quarter, went for 31 minutes. Atkins. That is mark number 19, Rory Atkins. 19 marks in a game of footy. Can he get 20? Just for statistical purposes. Can he mark this, Rory? That's mark number 20. We'll take it. Great stat. 20 marks for Rory Atkins. 18 of them are probably uncontested, but it still counts. Inside the forward 50. And the mark has been taken there by Box Hill. Some of their young guns stepping up and improving. DeBolfo had a tough day against Day, but he's shown a lot of promise and potential. Big fly there from Deer. And he marks in front of us here on the commentary side. I talked him up before, and I'm genuinely thrilled as a footy fan that he's really stepped up and started to make more of his great talents. Here comes Royce. Front square, big fly there from Lemons. Slips out the back now. Handball over the top. A 3-on-1 essentially. The Suns should win. Harry Morrison, though, working tremendously hard. Brown just got the handball away. Wrapped up. There's Matheson, cheeky little kick out. Looking for Hall. He'd love a goal assist. We'll get it out now to Bodie Ron. Go back. Take the shot. Take the shot. Settle. Go back and take the kick. Why wouldn't you? Bodie Ryan. He'll pull the trigger from 55 metres out from goal. He went for the extra distance, and it's a mark. And the Hawks will have an opportunity through Deer, who's had a brilliant little 5-minute patch here for the Hawks. So here's Deer. Left foot kick hit the belly of the ball. Goes out of bounds. And we've just received a message too, which I really appreciate, from the great man, Tom Rocker. He has said that Sexton is out with concussion. So Sexton is out with concussion. We hope he's okay. That might explain why we have not seen him. So we do appreciate that, Tom. Appreciate your support throughout the coverage. Big hit! And we hope they steer clear of this. Nothing silly at this point of the game, but there's players coming in from all angles. That was a spear equal to that of perhaps Roman Reigns has delivered in WrestleMania on the weekend. And he gets up, and he'll roll through, and he just kicks the most unconvincing of goals. But can you blame him? That was tough. And I think that's Bennett's. And he will come off, perhaps. Josh Bennett's, after being speared, has recovered and will come off. He's had a pretty solid effort today. And we've hit on 26 minutes, back to 38 points. To be fair, it's probably the margin I'd expect. The Suns dominated. They kicked the goal in the opening 2 minutes, from memory. And they've been very, very competitive, probably since early in the second term, the Hawks. But unfortunately for them, it just looked like the result was a foregone conclusion, but still plenty of shining lights for them as we do hit the 26-minute mark. And Rory Atkins, 20 marks today to go with his 35 disposals. Influential? He has been since coming back down. The Hawks now with a big kick back inside the forward 50. And Caleb Graham, serviceable today. Gave Tucker a nice little nudge. Enjoy watching Caleb Graham grow as a defender. And I just wonder when he'll get his opportunities to play senior football. He's up against Sam Collins and Charlie Ballard for similar sorts of roles. Quality player that perhaps, hopefully, gets his opportunities to get back in the AFL system at some point. Right foot kick around the body. Up towards the top of the square. Will it go the journey? Not quite. Tucker will claim it. But it is a minor score, 37 points the margin. Can we see some extra surprises here? Caelan Porter, 15 tackles, 10 in the first half, electrifying. Jeffrey told to go. A kick along the boundary. Ned Moyle will end up going up defensively. DeBolfo recovers well with a thumping kick back inside the forward 50, and there is Graham again. I will pull up his stats too. Caleb Graham. Mindful that another one has been added. It's 11 marks for him to go with his 15 disposal. He's probably had 30 spoils. That's just the sort of game that he has. Brandon Ellis hasn't set the world alight today. Neither is this man, but he's tried hard day. Bodie Ryan sitting defensive 40 out there for Box Hill, just clogging up the space. And here's Ben Long. Best game I've seen Ben Long play today. And he spots up Levi Casbolt. Let's go through Ben Long's statistics today. He's got 5 straight, 12 disposals, 6 marks. But he's kicked 5 straight from 8 kicks. And for me, I will declare my hand that he will get my 3 votes today, just for his impact. As Levi Casbolt kicks a goal. They've got 13 on the board as we approach the 30-minute mark of this final term. And the margin back to 43 points. So, yeah, just shout out to Tom for supporting today and getting the note through about Sexton. And I think being up here in the commentary position, And being the solo caller alongside the $1 million man, Caleb, here on the camera, you don't get the opportunity as much to pick up all the little injuries that come across the day-to-day. And I'd probably speculate that perhaps we would have seen something happen to Ned Reeves, who hasn't been sighted since half-time. But I also see the benefit in the sense that Tucker has had a